paint the things that I love. Basically, it all stems from nature and how I feel about nature in the wilderness. I hate to label myself because I think of every painting idea that I do is a whole new problem that I have to solve. I like to do paintings where I have reflections, and you can call me a reflection painter. You can call me an Indian painter because I paint Indians. I love to paint horses, so you call me a horse painter. I do camouflage things, so people call me a camouflage artist.
When I come to a place like this, like everybody, I think I see the most obvious things first. You know, the beautiful palm trees and the water, the sparkling water and the rocks. And I think after a time, I start to see the less obvious things that are all there, but things that not everybody sees at first. Things like the patterns and the shadows and the textures of the rocks and the trees, how the sun reflects off the water. These are all things that are valuable when you're trying to put a camouflage painting together. And in a painting, you can freeze all that. Everything comes still. And that's one of the fun things with camouflage, is that you can have something happening one instant before or one instant after, and everything becomes less obvious. But you can take that perfect instant when everything is totally camouflaged. I can look at this stream right here, and if I took a picture of it, I can freeze it. And maybe later on, I'll see things in that waterfall. It may be pintos in the snow. It might be, rocks and snow. It could be snow-capped mountains. It could be so many things to me, not just the stream.
Paint horses that I do, it's not that I have any, special fondness for paints or for Appaloosas. There's something that fulfilled a painting problem that I had, a camouflage problem. It was much easier to camouflage a paint horse than it was a solid color horse, because you don't have the solid outline that you have to work with. They have a lot of character, and you can have a lot of fun with them, especially with the markings. The markings can be things. They don't have to just be abstract shapes. You can turn them into things. The beauty of horses, that is, it's hard to describe that, because it's an emotional thing that happened to me when I was very young. When I was old enough to go around on a little pony ride, I remember it so clearly, like it happened yesterday. And I wanted to get on the fast horse, faster than my brothers and sisters. But the thing that really got me emotionally about the horses is just the spirit of the animal, the way they move, and the light glistening off their coats. And it's just, I think it's what moves a lot of 10, 11-year-old girls. It's just, the basic beauty of that horse, of any horse. I wanted to come up with an idea that would be maybe something like pintos. I didn't want to do the same painting again. I wanted to do something a little bit different. I thought, gee, since it's been 10 years, I thought I might as well do a painting like one I did 10 years, like my very first painting was pintos. And I thought it's high time I do another pure horse painting. And I'm always motivated to do that. So it started out with paint horses, and I was trying to think of ways that I could make it different than pintos. And then I thought of the rocks and snow, spelling out the words, hide and seek. Now, how am I going to get these words to work? Should it be all one painting? Should it be a bunch of little ones? And I think I went from like 4 basic paintings to 24. The first step in laying this painting out was to establish the letters and then to break them up into 24 individual squares, like 1/8 of an inch between each one. And then I would take like this one portion of the H and I would draw a line drawing, and from there I would just block in a horse, such as this one. And from there I would just start working in, a shape and fill it in. But I would work within the confines of that letter. As far as placement of the horses, it was real important that each one be very different from the other. I wanted the horses on this side basically kind of looking in this way, and these horses basically looking in that way. So the whole thing worked as a total. I didn't want any 2 horses the same size to be right side by side. So it was real important that there was a lot of variety of the horses from one to the other. By itself, you don't really sense the letters at all. You just see a horse and rocks and snow. But when they're all assembled together, it spells out the words hide and seek. And that's what really took me the longest time on this painting, was getting the rocks and snow and the horses all to work in the letters. Well, each horse has its own little personality. I'd like to think that comes out in the painting. Some of them, just simply their markings are really interesting. And when he's painted, he really looks different from, like, say, this one here. It really is important that each one is a nice little gem all by itself. After I get it all traced down, it's just really a matter of starting with the lightest lights first. With watercolor, you can't cover over with light paper, with light paint. So you can only go darker. The only white is the white of the paper, so if you have any hair lines or anything like that, you have to paint around. And that's what takes me so long to paint this way. Usually I start with the rocks and snow, but it just depends on the mood I'm in. Sometimes if I'm really anxious to get going on the horse, then I'll just start in. And I just start with the lightest gray first. And to soften the edges, I'll just, put a little fresh water on it. I can go on for hours and not say a word. I'm putting the shadows on first. And this kind of defines where the horse, the mood and the lighting that I'm going to have in this painting. This horse has a spot right over his eye. And I go right up to the lines that I've drawn on here. His mane and his ears are dark, so I'll just put the darkest colors on first. On this painting here, I've completed it except for just a few color corrections that it needs. Since there's 24 of these things, I need to have every one of them look like they were all painted at the same time with the same palette. Everybody's unique. They all have their interests and their loves and things that they really care about. And I've been fortunate that I've been able to focus early on what is really important to me, and I was able to communicate those things. I like to talk about the good things, like the Indians, for instance. Their everyday lives, the things that they did that were just, they went out and they cooked and they told stories and they and they're just like you and me. They're ordinary people too. I try to talk about the positive, you know, maybe the optimistic things that happen in everyday life, if not just Indians, but, you know, just the animals. Certain encounters that they may have during an ordinary day. It's fun to imagine these things. Sometimes I imagine things that a lot of other people have. I've seen faces in the clouds, and I've seen, you know, faces in rocks and trees, and a lot of other people are reminded of these fun times when they were kids, when they look upon my work. And that's fun. I really enjoy. I don't think it's important to me to be known as it is to be able to keep doing what I'm doing, what I really love to do. Jay and I are very private people. As a family unit with Jason, we're very happy just being alone by ourselves. I think a lot of artists are that way. I think they are so busy seeing and observing things in their own unique ways that what's going on around them is often not even observed. Some of it, becomes too much for me. I just need to kind of hide and, you know, go in my bed and put the covers over my head and, you know, or go into a cave, you know, don't come out for a while. It's a certain amount of it I can handle, and a certain amount of it I enjoy. I enjoy going out and talking to people, and I learn a lot that way. There are a lot of people that come up and tell me what they don't like about my paintings, as well as some people that tell me what they do like, and it's very informative. I do need to crawl out of my shell once in a while and go out there and talk to people one-on-one. I often get mail, and some of the things that people send to me are just precious. There's a letter here from a seventh grader, and he says, "Bev, I have an idea for a picture. I think it would be neat if you drew a picture that is like what I am describing. It could have some Indians sitting around a campfire with faces, or animals hidden in the smoke rising from the fire. I am in 7th grade, and I thank you for reading my letter." Here's a letter from a fellow who was in prison for 35 years for armed robbery, and it was a rather lengthy letter, I think. But he's really likes my work, and he really wanted me to write to him and tell him, you know, some things he could do with his sketching and his drawing. Here's a letter from a young 10-year-old girl, and this was a Christmas list, and I'm number 13 on the list here. She's got a Nintendo, a fast sled, all A's, a straight Christmas tree, a piano, a book of classical songs for, I can't read it, a tape of classical songs, a tape of Tiffany, a boombox radio, a small set of Nancy Drew. Does she have a small set? A 200-piece puzzle, a box of op-lined paper, and an autograph of Bev Doolittle, a trip to New Mexico. And of course, this came just about 3 days before Christmas, so I quickly sent her off an autograph and a small sketch. And here's one. I've got a horse named after me, a racehorse yet. And this gal, here's the papers to prove it. And this gal from Ontario, Canada, sent me the papers and sent me photographs of her horse that was born, and she named it Bev Doolittle, and the mother was named Jay, which is my husband's name. And so it was really fun. She keeps us in touch. She keeps sending me pictures of him as he gets older, and one day maybe he'll race, and we'll see what happens to her. It's a filly. So it's really a lot of fun. Some of a lot of people send me ideas for paintings. They send me photographs, and and sometimes they're really, really good ideas. Sometimes I'll just send them back, put them in a file, and save them for a rainy day when I'm looking for something. I think people relate to my paintings and they enjoy my paintings because it reminds them of good times and times when they've been out camping, and everybody that looks at my paintings has their own background, their own experiences to draw from. They remember something good that's happened to themselves. If they can remember my painting, in a positive way like that, if it sparks something in their own experience, I think that's great. I think that's wonderful. This is what's important to me. These are memories. You know, you make these things, you go out and make these things. Everyone has memories, and they're so valuable. I paint because I love it, and I paint the things that I know and that I really love. And a lot of people identify with the kinds of things that I like to say. And so I'm lucky.